2 of how to play the euphonium or baritone. Either one is applicable. We're going to start off with how to open the case. Seems silly, but it's important that we open it correctly so the instrument doesn't fall out and become damaged. So I have my euphonium case right here. You notice it's a nice big case and a hard case. That's what I'd recommend if you can do that. Normally we're not going to have this in our lap. We're going to leave it on the ground, and I'll put it down there in just a second. But just want to show you a couple things. First of all, you see this logo right here. This logo, the logo of the instrument is typically on the top part of the case, meaning that this part goes on top and this part back here is on the bottom. As you see, there's no logo on this side. So that gives you a big clue that this is the top, okay? Another clue is the handle. This handle here, it's a big case. This handle here is on this side, which is a good clue that this is the bottom. That way when you open the case, the handle doesn't flap around and get in your way, okay? And the last clue is this latch. When the latch has like a piece like this, usually that's on the bottom also, again, so that when you open the top, it doesn't flap around, okay? Put that back on, and I'm going to set it on the ground, and we'll open it there on the ground. Okay, so we just set this all the way down so that the top with the logo here is on top and the handle's on the bottom. We open those latches up, open up the case, and you'll see right away that euphonium is all the way down in there, inside that case. And that's to protect it, to keep it from bouncing around and causing other problems. You'll see that there's a mouthpiece here, and it fits in a certain spot so that it doesn't move around inside the case and cause damage to the instrument. And so we just grab it out of here, pick it up, grab the mouthpiece, and then we'll put it together. So I have my euphonium here. Here's my mouthpiece. You just take the mouthpiece and you just put it into the lead pipe here. Lead pipe's the part that goes straight out from the mouthpiece. And you just twist it a little bit. And then it's not going to come anywhere. Actually, even if I pull on it, it's not going to come out. You're going to have to twist it to get it to move again. So that kind of keeps it in there. Don't tap on it. That can cause it to get stuck. We'll talk about getting it stuck in a minute. And so then you got it all put together. Really easy to put together. You just pull it up, put the mouthpiece in, and you're good to go. Okay. We'll talk about a couple other things with the baritone or euphonium. And one of those is oiling your valves. Now, you should have some valve oil with your euphonium or baritone. You have your valve oil, and you the first thing you do is just unscrew one of these valves here. It should come off. I know euphoniums and baritones, for some reason, these valves do they do like to get stuck. And so if you can't get it off, come talk to me. I'll help you get that unscrewed. But anyway, so you get that undone, and just do one valve at a time. And it's important to remember that if the valves are working really well, then you don't need to oil them. Okay, if they're working and they're not sticky, leave them there. And the way you know if they're not sticky is if you push this valve down and when you bring it up, it comes up with your finger. It doesn't stick for a second, or it doesn't come up slowly, then it's fine and you don't need to oil it. And I just leave it alone, okay? But if it's not, and from time to time they do get sticky, so you unscrew that, you pull this out, okay? And I find it's helpful to just set the euphonium in my lap like this so that I can have my hands free. Take the cap off of your valve oil. Make sure you're using valve oil that is made for an instrument. It's valve oil. It's not any kind of other weird oil. Okay? And then you just put a few drops on this part of the valve. I don't try not to touch it. It's not going to really hurt it if you do. You can always wipe it off and clean it up, and it'll be fine. But I don't know. I just try to not to touch it too much. Put a couple drops on there. You don't need a ton. Sometimes it will drip a little bit, so be careful not to be doing that over your clothes. And then you just put it back in the valve casing. Okay. Now it's important that you know that there are these little guides on the valve, and there's a spot that lines up with, and it goes right in there. If you line that up right, then it'll be in the right spot. Okay. If you don't line up right, it won't go into the valve casing. And then you screw that part back down. You know, notice I talked about sometimes they get stuck. Sometimes they get stuck because kids tighten them too much. All you gotta do is just turn it until it's not gonna turn anymore. You don't need to really tighten it down. It's not going anywhere, okay? So just tighten it so that it doesn't clatter and so that it doesn't move anymore, and then it's plenty tight, okay? And that's how you oil your valves. That's one valve. Always do one valve at a time. Don't take them all out and try and oil them, because they do have to go in the exact right spot. And so it's just safer and easier to not get them mixed up by just doing one at a time. And so if you needed to do more, you do more at that point. It's really helpful to have on hand a cloth. This is just a cloth from Costco. And that way, if you do drip some valve oil somewhere, you can wipe it up. If your spit valve leaks a little bit, you can just wipe it up. And then you can just leave this on your knee or somewhere handy so that you have a cloth that you're good to go. It's helpful to be able to wipe down your instrument, keep it nice, looking good. So that's a good thing to have. So once you've got that down, you know how to put it together. We'll talk about how to hold it in our next video. But for now, I just want you to practice getting it out, putting that mouthpiece in. Make sure the valves are good. If they need to be oiled, go ahead and oil them like I showed you. And then put it back away. And again, it's really easy. You just take the mouthpiece out, and I just twisted it just slightly, and it came right out. And put it where it goes in the case. Put your instrument away. The cloth you can put in the case with it, and I like to just put it right on top of the instrument, and that helps remind me to grab it when I get my instrument ready to go. Other than the cloth, you should not put anything else in the case. Okay, don't put a book or music or a music folder on top of the euphonium, because once you close that case, the case only has enough room for the instrument. The cloth is not really going to make that big of a difference, but a book will. So don't put anything else on top of the instrument. Okay, that's not what it's for. Okay, then you close that up. Make sure you latch it, and then you're good. So practice that a couple of times. Practice getting your instrument out. Putting the mouthpiece on, holding it kind of a little bit, and then again we'll show you in the next video how to do that, and then putting it away. It's important that you're good at doing that fairly quickly. You got to get to class, have time to put your stuff together, get to your seat, get ready to play, and then at the end of class be able to put it away in a timely manner so you can get to your next class on time. So practice that a couple of times, and be ready for class when we start. Join me on that next video, and we'll learn some new things about the euphonium.